Ryan Pineda got to say.
Nothing annoys me more than when broke people are scared to take risks. Literally, when you're broke, you have nothing to lose. You're already at the bottom. I understand when people are older and they've built up a little nest egg and they got kids, but if you're young or you don't have any money, you should be going all in, figuring it out. And that may require you to go into some credit card debt, to work extra hours, to get out of your comfort zone and downsize your home, or go move back in with your parents. Either way, you need to get uncomfortable and start taking some risk, because your current path clearly does not work. The way you make it is by taking risk and doing new things. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what most broke people are doing. To me, the best risk you can take is getting into real estate investing. It's the easiest way to make money. It's going to be around forever, and you can make big chunks really fast. So if you want to learn how to wholesale and get yourself out of being broke, comment the word flip below and I'll show you how.
All right, shout out to Ryan Pineda. Now, you don't have to do real estate, right? And even though I am in real estate, you don't have to do real estate, right? But I think everything before he starts talking about wholesaling is very, very important. And why do I say that it's very, very important? Because look, man, if you're broke already, right? I mean, you are already pretty much at the bottom, like he said, right? And so it's time to change that, and it's time to figure out something else that will work for you, because continuing to go to your job and clock in, clock out, barely make the money, it's just not working for you. So why don't you try to find a way to invest into yourself, right? Why don't you find a way to take that money you're already making and have it grow? All right. But one thing I liked about what he said here was that why don't you move in with your parents? Right? Like when you reach the bottom and you go broke, you got to change up. You just got to change some things. You can't continue to do the same thing over time. So if you need to go move in with, a brother or your parents or whatever it is, or mom and dad, just to figure out your plan, that's okay. So many people are so afraid to fail, man. And they get so embarrassed as if other people really care. People really get scared because they're like, oh man, they're going to know that I don't have this car anymore because I had to go sell it, or because I had to get rid of this house. And people really care about that stuff instead of understanding what's best for them. So me personally, I say take the risk. If you're young and you're in your 20s and you don't have any children and you are not married, what in the world are you scared of? I mean, I'm just talking to you direct, just straight up. What are you afraid of? If you happen to fail, only you fall. I'm talking about those that don't have kids, married. You fall by yourself, and you can pick yourself back up and learn. Get out there and try new things while you're going to school, while you're at work, and you're in your 20s. Get to work.
Sensational.
Try some things out. Don't be afraid of going broke. You'll make money back. Money is getting printed every day, B. Every day. But what's not being printed every day and what's not being made every day is the opportunities that you have, is how young you are now. That will never happen again.
Sensational.
Take the risk, get out there, and figure it out. Because you only got to be right one time. And if you are right one time and another time, that's even better. But if you're right one time, that could be all that you need to literally take your trajectory through the roof. So stop being scared. Don't be scared. Those are for my people in their 20s with nothing. No kids, no nothing. And then if you're in your 20s and 30s, right, which is my group, and you do got a kid and you are married, it's still not too late for you to invest. This is the perfect time for you to invest. These are the perfect years for you to go ahead, figure out how you got to recalibrate, whatever it is you got to do. Lower your expenses, sell some things off, whatever. Do what's best for you. Do what's best for you and your family. If you need, like he said, this is Ryan. So Ryan, he's a real estate investor. He started off doing flips and he was maxing out his credit cards to do flips. Now this man is a multi-millionaire and has a multimillionaire portfolio of rentals and has a whole wholesale business, flipping business. This man has his stuff together. He's got his hands in a lot of different businesses other than just real estate. But he started off investing and putting his money into credit cards. Many people are going to tell you not to do that, including myself. But if you have a plan and you have a purpose and you know how you're going to get yourself in and out of it and you are 100% dedicated,
sensational.
Get to work. Get to work, man. It's no point in being broke for the rest of your life, being mediocre, and waiting for a 401k and a social security. Man, by that time, you're going to be much older. You talking about being in your 60s. Man, don't be waiting for that. You 20, 30, even 40 years old. It's time to do it right now. It's time to do that, mug, right now. One thing that I had got hip to at the age about 24-ish, probably 25, probably more 25, when I started learning about the difference between personal and business and how you can literally separate the two. And I started learning about other things like how trust works and how businesses move. I started to understand that the 30-year 401k grind is an entire game within itself. If there was ever a real scam, that is the scam. And the reason why I say the 30-year 401k grind is a scam is because it's no guarantee that you're even going to work for that company for 30 years. They may let go of you at year 10 or 15. And then you may make it to 30 years and still feel like you can't retire. And then you got to go pick up another job. So I said, so it's not really the end all be all. It just is a safe route, but it's a long route. When I was about 24, 25, I figured I'm not going to wait until I'm in my 60s or 59 and a half to grab me some money and be comfortable. If I got to go ahead and sacrifice for the next 10 to 20, 30 years, I might as well do it right now. Because if I happen to fail 3 and 4 times, but I'm right one time.
Sensational.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
That's all that matters is if I'm just right once. If I'm right that one time. And so then that's when I started investing in real estate. When I got to that age of like 27 is when I started doing what he's talking about, which is wholesaling. But I started to change my mindset around 25. And I was like, man, I'm not waiting around to get paid for my 401k. Man, get up out of here. So I completely understand what he's saying in this video. And I try to tell people that are in my circle the similar thing, right? And it's never too late to get your stuff together, to get your life together. It don't have to be financially. It could be your life as well. You know, all you got to do is start in the right direction soon or quickly. And the moment you start in the right direction, you now start over. That's all. It's when you want to continue to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you know it's not working, but you just don't want to be embarrassed from other people or what other people got to say. Let me give y'all a news flash. Other people's opinion does not matter. It doesn't matter. And if they talk about you at the kitchen table for 5 or 10 minutes, what does that really do? At the end of the day, you have to focus on you. You gotta focus on you and your moves. Don't worry when someone else says, well, why is she doing that? Or why is he doing this? It's not for them to understand. When you have a vision and you got a plan, the vision is not the same. Everyone has their own glasses and they got their own ways of accomplishing their own goals and dreams, and it's not for somebody else to see. So if it's embarrassing to one, to the other person, it's not. I don't care, and I honestly care less about what people got to say about me, how I got to move, what I'm doing, all that stuff. I care less because your opinion doesn't bother me when I know I'm taking care of business or when I know I got to do stuff. I care too about your feelings and about what you say about me. I don't care. I come in this world alone, and sadly, people leave alone. So, what are y'all gonna do in the in between time? If we can't make money together, if we can't, you know what I'm saying, network together and build resources together, move out of the way respectfully. And don't be embarrassed about what other people think because they don't care. All right? That's probably the realest thing you'll probably hear. I felt that, man, when I seen this video, bro. I was like, I really felt everything he was saying, man, because like I had to have a reality check to myself, man, one day, and my reality check was my bank account, man. It was like, what am I doing right now, to further myself, you know? And one day it was a Sunday. I remember it was a Sunday. My first daughter was born, and I had a negative bank account, and I'm like, I have absolutely no assets coming in. I have to wait for like some type of check to just magically appear, like some refund check from taxes or an insurance check to say, hey, there's an overage. I'm like, I don't have any money coming in to be able to sustain like this lifestyle, or if anything happens. And my reality check was life.
Sensational.
My reality check was life. When I had my first daughter, and I said, well, how long can you continue to do this that you're doing? Do you think that you'll be able to do this 10 and 12 years from now, or will you be behind? And when I had that just glimpse of, well, things get more expensive as time goes on. You're going to develop bad money habits right now. I'm going to end up being behind the 8 ball if I don't find a way to get out here and invest my money. And that alone was scary to me. So I dropped all my friends. I dropped all my friends. You know what I did? This is funny, right? Because one of my guys, we was talking a couple of weeks ago. He's like, bro, you literally did the disappear for a year thing. What I ended up doing, sadly, which I encourage a lot of y'all to do, and it's going to be a real test. It's going to hurt probably too. I stopped texting people first. So all my friends in my friend group, I used to always text them, "Hey man, what we doing today? Y'all doing anything for the weekend? Cool, we get together, we get a bottle, we drink, we go out, we do all that, right?" I stopped.
Sensational.
I said, I'm not going to text nobody. I'm not going to reach out to nobody. And I'm going to just see how this goes. And I told myself a couple months. And there was a few times where I like would text first because I was like, man, ain't nobody hit me up. And I went cold turkey. You know what happened? I wish I had a crickets button right here. Nothing. I start understanding like, damn, if I don't reach out to them first, they not thinking about me. They ain't thinking about me. I'm thinking more about them than they're thinking about me. And at the time, I just got with my girl, and then I was like, I told her what I was doing, and there was times I would talk to her like, man, I really want to go out. Like, I want to go out. Like, I want to be with my boys, you know? And I started learning how to be by myself. I started going to spots by myself. I go to a restaurant or a bar by myself. I go to the cigar bar by myself. I go hit the mall, or, you know, if I did go to the mall. I just started learning how to travel by myself. I stopped texting everybody. And I started to be way more focused. I started being more intentional with my life. And then I grew a new group of friends, or a new network of associates, of people that I can actually talk to, work with, make money with, and they can help me become better in the skill of real estate or learning finances. So that's exactly what happened. I stopped texting everybody. Everybody dropped off. And I got a whole new group of friends over the next few years. And it was a hard transition. And guess what? I'm not going back.
Sensational.
Just the thought of thinking about going to the club and doing all this and doing that, I'm like, for what? It's a waste of time. I'm already moving in this direction. I'm good over here. I don't need to be doing the same thing I was doing at 22, 23 years old. That's a waste of time. So I encourage y'all to do the disappear for a year trick. And when I say disappear for a year, don't text nobody. And even when you don't text nobody and they respond back to you, figure out what that friendship really is. Who benefits more in the friendship? This is the question you got to ask yourself. This was the question I asked myself when I disappeared for a year. I call it the disappear for a year thing with my friends. I said, who's benefiting more from this friendship? And I'm like, well, at the time I felt like, I would always pay. I always wanted to have a good time. That's why I still do like to have a good time. So I wanted to have a good time so bad that I was like, well, I'll pay for whatever. And I started to figure out, well, maybe I'm a benefit to them because like I'm willing to pay. And I'm always looking to buy a bottle or, whatever. And then I had other friendships where I'm like, well, who benefits here? And I start seeing that a lot of these friendships I weren't really benefiting from. Disappear for a year, and you will be surprised on what you really find out and how quickly people just move on from you. You'll find out. You'll find out what friends really are. You'll find out who your real friends really are. And sometimes the friends that you want is you being selfish. Because you want your friend, you want that to be your best friend because y'all been through things and y'all been cool since who knows when, but they're not good for you. But you want them to be your friend because, it just makes sense for you. It's easy. They know everything about you, but they're not good for you. They're not helping you become any better. Just saying, man. Take that self-accounting for yourself and figure that out. All right.